Hi guys, and welcome back to the Cornish Angler. You join me back down at a local reservoir as I continue my campaign for that double-figure tench. You might see me swatting my face quite a lot in this video. The midgies are out in numbers, and yeah, they are after me. Ugh, horrible. Anyway, just me this evening. Nate was going to come, but then I checked at lunchtime whether he was still coming, and it turns out he just remembered it's his son's birthday. So yeah, he'd best be at home this evening. I'm back in the swim where you saw me in the last video, where Nate and I had 3 fish each. He had 3 tench, I had a bream, a tench, and that surprise carp at the end. If you haven't seen that video already, go and check it out now. So back to today, and I've chosen this swim because we fished it quite a lot recently, and it seems to be producing some bites on each session. In fact, Nate has had a really good run here recently, where he's catching between 3 and 6 fish every session. Mainly tench, a few bream as well. I, on the other hand, have been struggling a little bit from this swim recently. I have managed the odd fish, but a lot of the time I seem to be landing in weed. I have chucked the underwater camera out. It seems pretty clear in most places, but yeah, for some reason I just keep reeling in the weed. So I'm obviously not fishing very effectively. Midgies. So as Nate isn't here, I thought I'd take the opportunity to, one, pinch his bit of water, but what I really wanted to do was to try and clear some weed and get a spot going on my side of the swim. So generally Nate fished to the right, I fished to the left. On that first session went really well, I had 3 fish, but whether the weeds are starting to grow a bit faster and a bit more, or whether I'm not quite hitting the same spot each time, not too sure, but I definitely need to do something to get me catching some fish again. So what I would love to do is to wade out with a garden rake and really rake over a spot. I can do that in some of the other swims, but on this side it just gets too deep. So yeah, not a possibility. I have bought a Gardener castable rake. I haven't used them before. Some people use them and get on with them, some don't. But I thought I'd buy one and give it a go. But it's not arriving until next week, and I'm an impatient guy when it comes to fishing. So I brought something along with me to try and help. So what I've got here is some grappling leads. So you use these in sea fishing. But as you see, they've got some prongs on them. So the idea is, when I cast that out, it's going to hit the bottom. As I drag it back, all the weed's going to get caught up in there. But what these are usually used for is kind of fishing rough ground. So your lead will land, for example, in some rocks or some heavy weed, seaweed. And the idea is that these ping out and release the lead. So you don't always end up breaking or you'd tumble tackle off. But obviously on this occasion, I don't want that to happen, because then all the weeds will just fall off. So that makes it a bit of a pointless exercise. So what I've done, I didn't have any elastic bands at home, but I borrowed / stealed one of my daughter's hair bands. I just wrapped that around a couple of times on the bottom side of the prongs. So they are stuck now, they're not going to come undone. So yeah, it gets a really good grip of the weed, pulls it through. So what I've done, I spent a good hour and a half, if not even 2 hours, casting out on a set spot, on a set amount of wraps, exactly the same, or almost exactly the same spot each time, just trying to clear some weed off the spot. Midgies again. I've hopefully now got a spot, I don't know, 3 foot, 4 foot wide, kind of a 4x4, maybe 5x5 area that's probably not weed free, because I haven't been able to use my garden rake, but towards the end there was much less weed coming on that lead. I'm fishing wafters and helicopter rigs, so hopefully any weed that's left it's just going to slowly sit on top of, but if I keep fishing that spot over and over again, it should get clearer and clearer each time. I think this is going to be one of our main spots for the rest of the season. So it's kind of worth investing that time now, get that spot going for the weeks ahead. So what I'll do now, I'll just show you some footage of me doing exactly that. Right, I've been going for what feels like about an hour. I haven't actually checked the time, but I'm finally starting to pull clear a little bit. So pull through, like, yeah, see, much easier. Do it again, it'll hit some weed there. Right, so I've finished casting out that lead, and yeah, I've got a good amount of weed on the bank, quite a lot of clams as well. Got two actually that are alive down in the water there. I'll show you those later on. But yeah, loads of weed. Stinks. See how thick that is. So hopefully I've got a bit of a clearer spot out there now. Clear enough for my rigs to sit on nicely, and we can catch some fish. I've just been watching the water actually, and there's been a few fish rolling a bit closer in. So I'll probably have one rod on the far out spot, one rod closer in as well. See what happens. Time to get set up. Right, so now I'm ready to get some bait out there. Just going to show you quickly how I make my ground bait mix. So here I've got a bag of frozen maize and hemp. So I make a really big batch of this and put it into little session packs. I put a bit of lake water in there just to help defrost it. So that water will have also taken on some of the juices and smells from the hemp and maize already. And then I've got, this is Bait-Tex ground bait. It's the first time I've used this actually. Pro Natural ground bait mix. Binds well, breaks down fast. Coconut, molasses and hemp. So, not as sweet as I thought it was going to smell. It actually smells a bit like the food you give to cows. Right, start mixing that in. I do usually put pellets in, but I'm not sure if I bought any actually. If I've got any, I'll chuck some of those in as well. Right, so back to the session now. Both rods are out. So I've got my left hand rod fishing that longer spot that I spent some time clearing. I've had a couple of knocks and beeps on that already. And the right hand rod I've got not very far out at all actually, just a couple of rod lengths, maybe 4 or 5 rod lengths out. I saw a tent show twice in that area, just out in front of me. So yeah, I'm going to fish one close in. I haven't fished close in on this swim before, so it's always worth trying. There might be a slight drop off, a little shelf that the fish are patrolling. Hopefully it's weed free. I'll reel in a minute and find out. But yeah, left hand rod's going to stay on that spot all session. The right hand rod is going to maybe roam a little bit, see how we get on. So whilst I was trying to get the weed out of that spot earlier, came across loads and loads of clams. Most of them were dead, but got mummy and baby clam. I've never seen one that small before. How cool is that? The size difference. Amazing how they can grow like that. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. You might not, but I do. But yeah, I'm going to put these back in the water now, so you live to fight another day. Let's get some fish. Don't think the battery's going to last much longer, but I'm into my first fish. is on the spot I've been raking. Oh, definitely facing the right way, but tench number 1 in the net. Happy days. Got to unhook it, rest him in the margin, get that rod straight back out there. Right, so this is fish number 1. Just had him resting in the margin. Let's sort the rods out. That's a lovely fish, actually. That's got to be getting on 5.5, 6 pounds. Oh, lovely. Nice small little pecks at the front there, just to show it's a female. That was on a little pink bottom bait actually. I found them in my garage. They've been soaking in, I think, a citrus goo or something like that for like 3 years. And I found them, I thought, well, give them a go. And yeah, this one took a fancy to them, that's for sure. Put it back in there. Get a few snaps. Alright, let's get this one back. There she goes. Right, just got that fish back and I redid both rods. Had quite a few indications of knocks on the right hand one, so I redid that one and straight away it's having some knocks again, so hopefully we're in for a good evening. Excuse my hood up, but these midges are relentless. I don't know if you can see them on the camera or not, but God, they're getting me. Usually when Nate's here, they'll get him and not me, but I'm the only target. But something you have to put up with when you're fishing at these sort of places, I guess. It's now just gone 7 o'clock. That rod that went actually wasn't out there very long at all. Probably about 25 minutes in total and about 10 minutes after the recast. Like I said earlier, it's on a little pink bottom bait. I think it might have originally been one of the Nash kind of Insta baits. Ooh. I'm in. Am I not in? Oh no, I'm not in. That was a left-hand rod again. Looked like it was away then. Maybe I just got done. But yeah, I think it's a strawberry crush. Little bottom bait that's been soaking in some juice. I think it might have been the citrus juice. It might have been the strawberry plum juice, I can't actually remember. Been soaking for about 3 years. So yeah, they smell really nice. And Nate's been catching on some pink citrus pop-ups, so I thought, you know, I'll give them a go. And that's the rod that's done the business so far. Rig-wise, that's the combi rig I've been messing around with. So if you carp fish, you would have known probably about the combi rig. Basically, it's got a stiffer boom, usually fluorocarbon, and then it joins onto either sometimes it's a spinner rig, a roddy rig, but I've gone for a little bit of braid. That's just to add a nice bit of movement at the hook. I saw in one video a tench pick up my hook bait, but because it's quite a rigid rig with just the fluoro, the hook point didn't turn at all. So yeah, I wanted something that's going to allow that hook to have lots more movement. So yeah, 12-pound fluoro and just a non-coated braid on that one. I'll go into a bit more detail of that on another video. I'll probably leave that left-hand rod for 5 minutes. I might redo it again. If I've got done, yeah, I'm not sure of my rig. Hopefully the rig is kind of anti-tangle enough to reset. But yeah, once I've been done, I do kind of like to redo it after 5-10 minutes, just in case. But it's looking good. See you guys in a bit. Right, in again, second fish, this time the right hand rod. Oh, it's just gone some weed. Oh, I think it's ditched me. Nope. Nope, it's still on. Looks like another tench. landed. It's come off. Come off just as I was grabbing the net. Damn. Right, into our third fish of the evening. Feels like another tench. Same spot I lost the other one on, so the right hand rod, which I changed over to the little pink bottom bait. Which has come off again. Oh, what's going on? Right, hopefully third time lucky on this rod. Certainly took it well. Now after our last two cock-ups, I'm going to play them nice and gently. Net is ready. I mean, I hate to say these sort of things, but it does seem like a slightly better fish. Try and keep them away from any potential snags. Just caught a fin then. Don't you go going as well. Just hang on 10 minutes. Very angry fish, if it's not a big one. Nice swell. Don't go towards those trees. Don't go towards those trees. Don't think it's massive actually. Just angry. Yeah, so you think you got them and then they do a real big kick. Like that. Don't go that way, that's where my other line is. Oh no, you've got a bite on the other rod. And that's still got the clip on as well. Double hook up. Let's concentrate on this one first. That one's still on. Oh, it's quite a nice fish actually. Come on. Nope. That fish is still on. Not sure what it's doing. Let's just get this one in. Happy days. Right, let's sort this one out. Woo! That's on the spot I was raking out earlier. I had one fish off it already. It just goes to show. That big bream. Just goes to show, even though it was a couple of hours ago, I didn't mind coming onto that spot for free. This is a bream. Probably just as well. Tench would have caused mayhem. Right. One fish in the net. two, oh, that's a decent bream actually. 2 fish in the net. Whoa. Right. Let's unhook them both. That's a big bream. I'm not trying to get 2 tangles. There's the combi rig. Bait's just come off. Right, so that's 1. And then another combi rig with the tench. Very well hooked, that's for sure. There we go. It's a good tench as well. It's not a PB, so I'm not going to weigh it. But it's probably approaching £7, I reckon. I might weigh it actually, I don't know. But yeah, happy days. That was the number 1 on the right hand rod. Beautiful, beautiful fish. I'm going to get my hood down for a second. Look at that. Stunning fish. That's the tench. And the second part of that double take is this bream. Woo. Come on, steady on. There we go. Oh, you were lively. Tail. Hit your tail still, flapping around, crazy. Yeah, it's a good sized bream. Might weigh him. One last look at that tench before I put it back. Just put the bream back. Bream was £7.5, so not quite a PB. And this tench is just over £6. He's lively now, he's been resting. That's a brace of 6-pounders, and lost 2 as well. 1 combi rig, 1 close in, 1 at range, both doing the business. Let's get him back. Got a feeling there could be some more. Right, just before that mayhem with double hookup, I was about to say how gutted I was to lose those 2 tench. But now I've had 5 bites, I landed 3. I still should have landed those other 2 tench, but it's the way it goes sometimes. They weren't as big as the 2 I have landed, so at least that's something. All the fish, or most of the fish I should say, have been on that pink bottom bait. One of the tench I lost was on the yellow wafter. But yeah, fish just in front of me now. But yeah, those little pink bottom baits seem to be doing the business. Unfortunately, I've only got about 5 or 6 left. I'm gonna have to see what else I can find in the garage that's been soaking for years. These midgies are doing my head in. But yeah, chuffed with that double hookup, £7.5 bream, another £6 tench, turning into a really, really good session. There's fish all over. Oh, tench just boshed out then. Tench all over that spot that I raked out earlier. I was wondering whether all that commotion, all that raking was going to put the fish off, whether I was going to get any bites on it tonight, or whether it's just prepping for another day. But I've had 2 fish on it. There is loads of fish and bubbles as I speak. That's got to go soon, surely. On that area. So yeah, I'm really glad I did that. It just goes to another fish. Just goes to show you can rake and fish at the same session. So I was raking it between 3:30 to 5:20. Rods are out there, 5:45, and the first fish I think was about 6:30 on that area that I raked. So it only had what, an hour, if that, yeah, about an hour before the fish came in and fed on it. Maybe actually that commotion has churned up the bottom. It's got loads of worms and bugs and all sorts. Got the fish interested, they've come to check it out. I'm fishing effectively now because there's no weed on the spot, and it's paying off. So if you're worried about whether raking the swim before you start fishing it's going to affect how many fish you catch. Another nice show out there. That's on Nate's spot. In this case, it hasn't. But yeah, I might redo the rods in a second. I did kind of rush them out after that double take just so I could sort the fish out. Combi rig's doing the business. I'll have to go through those in a bit more detail another time, but the light is just starting to fade a bit now, so you probably wouldn't see it too well. Gonna get this camera back on the rods. Hopefully there's a few more fish before we go, because it is looking really good out there. Right, not long cast this rod back out. I actually had to do it twice because I think I tried to pick it up on the drop. Felt it go in my hands, but nothing there. I think this might be a bream. I actually just switched over to yellow wafter on that one, just to see if it makes a difference, and yeah, 5 minutes later it's off. I think I just got caught on my other line. It's wrong, it's not a bream, it's a tench. Right, so as you might be able to see behind me, the light is starting to fade now. It's probably about 9 o'clock. Just landed my third tench of the session, probably more like £5 this one. They've all been females actually. It's quite interesting. But again, another immaculate fish. Hard fighting, great fun. And yeah, getting amongst the bites now. Really happy, that's the third fish on the area that I raked over earlier. That's obviously worked really, really well. What I'll probably do is at the start of each session, maybe just go over 10 times with it, just disturb it, pick up any more weed that's out there, and really build that spot up. So far, it's working a treat. I'll slip this one back. I'm gonna give it another half an hour, I reckon, before I start to pack up. Hopefully, it's time for just one more. Right, I was about to do kind of an ending to this video, but that fish has caused me a little bit of a delay, and now it's a little bit dark, so I'll keep filming the rest of my session this evening, and then I'll do an ending next time I come up here. But yeah, what a session. 3 tench, 1 bream, 2 fish lost. What's that, six potential fish. I started fishing about 6 o'clock, so in 3 hours. Pretty happy with that. Still plenty of fish showing out there. I reckon if I stayed tonight, I would catch a hatful, but yeah, can't do that unfortunately. Lovely, lovely evening. It's gone really still. I love it when it's like this. You can see everything. Got birds cheeping. The midges have disappeared. Yeah, lovely, lovely fishing. One other thing I will say before I forget is that combi rig seems to be working really, really well. The hook is going in the bottom lip most of the time, getting really good, strong hook holds. Sometimes struggling to get the hook out. Yeah, fantastic. I'm going to keep using that rig, keep working on it, fine tune it. But yeah, something I'm definitely going to keep on using. There's another fish just showing over my spot, so I'm going to concentrate. Last half hour now, hopefully get one more before I go. Well, just starting to pack up. And the left hand rod has gone again. Can't really see much, so I'm going to put the GoPro down. Well, you can see much anyway. And try and get this fish in before I go. Right, that was a bream. Pretty decent sized one as well. Again, I don't think it's a PB. Probably about the same size as the last one. Oh, docile they are, just lie there. But yeah, 2 bream. Don't often get that in a session down there. Let's get you back, mate. Off the slab goes. So, what a brilliant session that was, with 4 tench landed alongside 2 bream. I also lost 2 tench at the net, so I could have potentially had 8 fish in just a couple of hours of fishing. Having spent those first 2 hours casting out the breakaway lead in order to clear a spot in the weed, I wasn't sure if the fish would be returning this session because of all the disturbance. But actually, I think by making that disturbance, by clearing an area, breaking up the substrate and causing lots of commotion, it actually got the fish intrigued to see what was going on. I think obviously as well, there were lots of bugs and worms being disturbed into that little zone which the fish homed in on. So it's not a tactic I'm going to be afraid to use again. I got my first bite after just an hour after casting out after all that commotion. So yeah, I really don't think it's done my chances any harm at all. In fact, it's probably enhanced them this evening. So I caught the fish on 2 different baits this evening. The usual yellow trimmed down wafters that I've been using, but also some pink bottom baits. It surprised me how much the tench like these pink baits actually, and it's something I'll be using again a lot more in the future. So all the fish that I caught that evening were caught using a combi rig I've been playing around with. It basically incorporates a 12-pound fluoro hook link with a 15-pound braided hook link as well. This keeps the stiffness to the rig to keep those anti-tangle properties, whilst also giving a really nice supple end to the hook link, allowing that hook to move freely. I'm going to keep testing this hook link out over the next couple of sessions before I go over it in more detail, but I am finding the hook holds really good and really strong, mostly in the bottom lip, and that hook is really penetrating hard through the fish's mouth. And that brings an end to this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss any future videos. If you did enjoy this video, I've got plenty of other similar videos on my channel, so go check those out as well. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you again soon.